Your stuff isn't the protecting.
Meteorologist Skylar Spindler here. We are breaking in from our scheduled programming to give you another tornado warning. This one is in effect until 9:45 a.m. Now, the National Weather Service in Boston has issued this tornado warning for southeastern Norfolk County and eastern Massachusetts. We've got northwestern Plymouth County and northwestern Bristol County. So again, this is going to be in effect until 9:45 a.m. Now at 9:21 a.m., this severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. This was located over the Mansfield area near North Attleboro, moving east at 40 miles an hour. So we've been watching these changing winds over the last hour, and we've been watching these systems tracking over the area. We've been watching also the velocity here. This is the wind direction. So we've had the winds shifting around. We've already had reports of damage in the ground in the Rhode Island area. So again, we can see here just exactly what's going on. So now this storm system is shifting more eastward, and so you can see here we've got a little bit again, we've got the deflection here. We've got the area of the winds moving. If I can get this to pull over a bit and draw this out for you, so you can see the Mansfield area, and you can see where the winds are going against each other. So again, so you can see exactly just exactly what's going on here. So some of those heavier cells right here as well that kind of match up with that. So we're watching this area as this is moving around. You can see even with these cells, they're kind of bowing out a bit. So if we draw this out, kind of watch the bowing. This is where it starts to bow out a bit, and you get that rotation. So you've got those winds hooking in behind it a bit. The storm has also been capable of producing small hail. So if you are in this area, again, this is moving east right now, and the National Weather Service issued this tornado warning until 9:45 a.m. So we've had a lot of heavy winds moving through the area. So if you are in this area, make sure you seek the lowest level of your home. You'll want to get away from the windows and doors, and just protect yourself between yourself and the outside. So again, no, these are very unusual for the area, but we've seen quite a bit lately. So definitely stay away from the windows and stay away from the doors. So see if we can, it's hard to tell with the radar site being so close to here, with seeing if we could check and see if we see any debris in the area. But we'll take it on over here for a second, maybe zoom out a bit and see if we can put a track on this for you. Zoom it out. So again, this National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning, and this is in effect until 9:45 a.m. So we're gonna put some tracks here on it. If you are in any of these locations, it's now moving to the east. So we'll put this out here. So give you some ideas of some of the locations that'll be at 9:29 a.m. will be in Easton, 9:40 West Bridgewater. So if you're in any of these locations, again, this is until 9:45 a.m. for this tornado warning. But this is the same line that has been moving through that is producing rotation. We've seen some heavy winds with this, a lot of heavy downpours moving through the area. And so you'll definitely want to take the lowest level of your home, get down to the lowest interior room that you have. Many more walls between you and the outside is better. So definitely just keep yourself away from those windows. We've got heavier winds moving through. That means tree branches going down. Could see some power outages as well, especially as these turning of the winds move through, breaking branches, and just having debris flying around. So that's really the biggest concern, is just to protect yourself as we're in this tornado warning right now. So again, this area, the storm has been producing small hail as well. So we have seen some small hail reports coming up around the area. And then we have been seeing, just again, here's look at this area of how those winds are shifting a bit. It looks like it might actually start to be turning a little bit more here. So let's see if we can save this and move over here. Here we go. But again, so this system has been capable of producing some heavy downpours. We've already had some power outages in the Rhode Island area from the system that just moved through recently. So if you are in any of these locations, make sure that you take shelter immediately. So this is moving at about 30 miles an hour to the east. 40 miles an hour to the east, and the radar has indicated some rotation in this area. So again, we're going to put another storm track right here on here so you know exactly. I'm going to watch this cell right here, track it out, give you some ideas, some locations of where this is heading next. 932 West Bridgewater, 932 West Bridgewater, 934 Brockton, 938 East Bridgewater, and then 942 Abington, 946 Rockland. Now this is in effect until 9:45 a.m. And this is a pretty big, long line that's been pushing through the area, and it's got some heavy winds associated with it. We've already had some damage to trees and other areas, so we're still getting some updates on that as we're assessing that. And we are just making sure that everyone's staying safe here. So if you are in these areas, make sure you seek the lowest area of your home. Get down to a basement if you have one. If you don't have a basement, lowest level of the home. And you want to keep as many walls between you and the outside. So no, it's interesting to go look outside, but definitely don't do it. There's a lot of, especially if you're in any of these areas, high winds moving through, and definitely could be dangerous to you if you're going to be outside. So don't go outside. Most people have been wanting to go outside and take a look at these things. So do not to go outside when we're looking at some of these winds shifting. So you kind of see here, New Bedford had 18 miles an hour from out of the south, but Taunton 18 miles an hour out of the east. So you can kind of see some of this, the winds shifting here along this line of storms that's running down through the area. So again, you can probably see that there's a little bit of rotation in this cell that's moving through. So again, here's a look at, it's actually very close to the radar site as this tornado warning is moving across the area. So there was some debris reported with this, and then there was the thunderstorm that was capable of producing the tornado was located over the Mansfield area. So again, it was near North Attleboro, and again, that was moving about 40 miles an hour to the east. So that area that they're talking about was in here. So, and looking at this moving to the east here, so at 40 miles an hour. So again, if you are in this area, just go ahead and make sure you take shelter and take cover, get away from the windows and doors during this, so we can, you want to stay safe if there's any debris floating around. Some of these areas that are going to be locations that are going to be impacted, we're looking at Brockton, Taunton, Braintree, Randolph, North Attleboro, Stoughton, Bridgewater, Marshfield, Attleboro, Mansfield, Easton. So any of these places, Norton, Pembroke, any of these places, make sure you are taking shelter from the system. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put out another, here we go, another tracker, just to give you an idea. So we're looking at, this is in effect until 9:45. So here's just a couple of locations: 943 Brockton, 946 East Bridgewater. And I'm going to do another one of these that'll be a little bit closer. Won't go that far out on it, just to track some areas here. Let's try this. All right. 935 Pratt's Corner, 937 Morris Corner, 938 Alger's Corner. So any of these locations, if you're familiar with them, make sure if you're near any of these, take shelter immediately. This storm that's been moving through, it's moving east at 40 miles an hour, and it has the capability of producing rotation. It has the capability of producing a tornado. We've had some damage reports. We've had some power lines down from the system that's been moving through the area. So debris is a big concern. And again, because this is so close to the radar site, trying to see if we could find some debris here, but a little tough with it being so close to a radar site at the moment. So again, just give yourself some, stay away from those windows and doors. So again, just find that lower interior area of your home I know is interesting as these are to a lot of people here. Do not go outside. It is not safe to be outside with the winds throwing debris around, especially tree branches or live wires from, electricity. So you want to make sure you stay safe during this until this storm has passed by. Again, this also has been producing some hail in the area as well. And that is a bit of a concern because, you don't want to be outside with that as well. So again, here's a look at some of those observations with how the winds have been shifting around. So we can see here that this has been, we've had some of those shifty circulation winds moving through. So you can kind of see even from New Bedford up towards the Taunton area, you just see the different direction of the winds. So they've been shifting around, especially, and then when you get to higher elevations, you are closer to that cloud base. So the closer to the cloud base you get the shifting of the winds, you're more likely to get that rotation, and you can have a touchdown. So we're still looking into a possible touchdown over in the Rhode Island area. So again, this storm has been capable of producing damaging winds and having power outages in the area. So if you were in any of these locations, definitely seek shelter immediately. So we are looking for Plymouth and Bristol counties until 9:45. So we are in this tornado warning until 9:45. So here's a better look at that area. So I zoom out a little bit more so you can see this outline in red. This is our tornado warning area, and this is in effect until 9:45. Again, I'll put another track on this for us. Oh, let's go back here for a second. Let me erase that. Let's try this again. There we go. Track this one out. I'll give you some timings. Let's see if I can get this here. All right, here we go. Here's some of the timings. So again, this is until 9:45 a.m. So this is moving east at about 40 miles an hour. So it's moving pretty quickly right now. So we're looking at 9:44 in Avon, over in that area, 9:44 Brockton. So if you are close to these areas, you'll want to go ahead and seek shelter immediately. I'm actually going to zoom in on this area so we can maybe take a better look at what's going on here. And maybe we can maybe dip out of this. Here we go. Let's go back to it. And now we'll zoom in a little bit closer on some of this where we're looking at. So right in the middle of this tornado warning, we can kind of see some of these heavier cells around the East Bridgewater area, Brockton, kind of see just exactly where we're looking at. So if you are out in any of these areas, definitely seek shelter immediately. So this has been capable of producing high winds, rotation, small hail. So you will want to definitely seek shelter immediately. Just find a sturdy area to go. Protect yourself. So keep as many walls between you and the outside. So just avoid the windows. Just again, make sure you want to protect yourself from any flying debris in the area. Again, National Weather Service issued this tornado warning until 9:45 a.m. I want to see if we can check in with our news desk to see if we have any updates right now.
This morning, we do have crews right now in Scituate and Johnston working to learn more on any damage that might have come to these areas, and also want to show you video right now. We'll have that in just a moment. But again, reports of damage through these areas. We have news crews in Scituate and Johnston this morning in Rhode Island trying to work to find out some more of that damage. Again, tornado warning in effect throughout much of Rhode Island, Providence, Bristol County, Kent counties throughout the morning. Currently going in Bristol County until 9:45. Again, we have crews over there right now. If you are in any of those affected areas that are under that warning this morning, again, you want to make sure you are sheltering in your home. Go to the basement of your home. Avoid any windows or any exterior areas. If you are in home, again, seek shelter. Get under a sturdy area. Be sure to cover yourself in mattresses, blankets, pillowcases, sleeping bags to try to protect yourself from any damage that might come in to that area. Again, we have crews right now in Johnston and Scituate working to learn more. about 2,000 power outages across Rhode Island, according to Rhode Island Energy. Still no latest update from National Grid on any damage that might have come to Massachusetts so far this morning, as those tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings have been in effect throughout the morning. Again, 9:45 a.m. That is how long this tornado warning will be in effect for Bristol County, southeastern Norfolk County, other parts of Massachusetts as well. Again, we currently have crews outside in the field in Scituate and Johnston working to learn more about any potential damage that may have come throughout this morning. We do have a video that you're about to see right now. This is in Providence of tornado sirens that went off in the city this morning. Again, that was a scene in Providence earlier this morning. You can hear the tornado sirens going on. You can also hear the whipping of the winds and the rain over there. That's been the scene across much of southern New England throughout this morning. Again, those tornado warnings earlier in the morning in Providence. Now in Bristol County for about 4 minutes. Now I want to hand things back over to meteorologist Skylar Spindler for another update. Hi, Skylar.
And you know, Yanni, those sirens are something you definitely never want to hear, but when you do hear those, you want to take shelter immediately. So we're looking at the storm velocity. You can kind of just see the storm's pretty big. So we have a couple of thunderstorm warnings right now. And then, of course, this is our area. This red area right here is our tornado warning. This is in effect until 9:45 a.m. So we have about 4 minutes remaining on it. Still some area of rotation indicated on the radar. You can almost kind of see the bowing here. So this is kind of an indicator of these systems that typically produce tornadoes. So when you get the bowing, you get the shifting of the winds and you get that rotation. So, you know, I've been telling you guys, if you're a higher elevation and you're closer to that cloud deck, you know, that it's less space between you and the cloud. So that tornado can drop down very quickly. And sometimes they may not be very long-lived, but we do have a lot of rotation. You can kind of see just how shifty these winds are. So you can see Taunton has an east wind, but New Bedford has a south wind moving northward. So you can kind of see the rotation just in the atmosphere as this system is just pushing through the area. So again, we're getting that rotation in the atmosphere, and then again, as long as you're closer to the cloud deck, you know, again, one can just drop down very quickly. So these are really important to take shelter immediately. Just because, again, like I said, if you're close to that cloud deck, it could drop down very fast on you. And there is really not a lot of warning on these. They can happen almost instantly. So when we issue these tornado warnings, you want to definitely take shelter immediately. And the best thing to do is don't go near the windows and doors. I know this is very unusual for people, but it's not safe. So you'll want to find the most interior room of your home. You'll want to keep as many walls between you and that outside. So whether that's a bathroom or a closet, anything that's got doors or walls around it to keep you separated from you and the outside. So away from the windows, there is debris moving with this. So again, this is in effect until 9:45. So what I'm showing you right here is storm velocity. So you have the green moving towards the radar site, and then you have the red moving away. So when you get this rotation, that's where you start to see like the winds shifting in towards and away. And so when they do that, they're rotating. So when you see this red and green kind of all shifty like this is where you know there's something going on in the atmosphere. So around down where this tornado warning, looks like there's some right around the radar site. So the storm has been producing hail as well. So we've been seeing some small hail out of it. Again, this is a front that's moving along with it. So we've got some cooler air aloft just pushing in. So that kind of helps with those updrafts with the hail moving through. Again, this is in effect until 9:45. We have 2 minutes remaining on this. And so again, we can kind of see just the area of that tornado warning right now. It looks like the radar is indicating a little bit of rotation over just say, what is that, east of the Norwood area. So it looks like right along 95 here. So I think I'm going to go pull some scopes up on that. But again, we can just see just the bowing of this system. It's a pretty large system. Have some heavy winds. It's moving 40 miles an hour to the east right now. So we've seen it shift a little bit as it's pushing off. But again, we want to keep our eyes to the sky right now as we're watching those shifty winds and checking out those velocities. A lot going on outside. Definitely want to take this serious right now and get get as close to as an interior room as you can and away from windows and doors. Again, this has been having some areas that have been producing excuse me, hail and high winds. Yanni, did you say you had some updates?
At this time, still working to learn more from National Grid on any potential